on that. Welcome. Call to order of the Delaware County Commissioners meeting of June 1st, 2026. It's now 9 o'clock. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's do roll call, then we'll have our public meeting, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Here.
Commissioner Brand,
Here.
Commissioner Reagan,
Present.
Attorney John Brook, Attorney Danielle Struble, Auditor Ed Carroll.
Thank you. So we have a public hearing today for our ordinance. I believe, Danielle, would you like to explain why we're having a public hearing?
Yes, this is to receive the public input on the following matters. The first one is an amendment to the ordinance concerning the reduction of the speed limit of 20 miles an hour on Fox Run Lane commencing at Moore Road and to its intersection with Elk Point Drive in Hamilton Township. Second is an amendment to the ordinances concerning the reduction of the speed limit of 20 miles per hour on Vista View Drive, commencing at its intersection with Fox Run Lane and to its intersection with Elk Point Drive in Hamilton Township. The third one is an amendment to the ordinance concerning the reduction of the speed limit of 20 miles per hour on Elk Point Drive at its intersection with Vista View Drive and Fox Run Lane in Hamilton Township. And the fourth is an amendment to the ordinance concerning the increase of the speed limit to 30 miles per hour on 26th Street, starting at the intersection with Hoyt Avenue, going west to its intersection with Tillotson Avenue in Center Township.
Thank you. If anyone's here for or against, you may go to the podium and state your name and your objection.
I'd like to make a motion. Did we open a public hearing? I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing. Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Thank you. Yes. Now, anybody have any say? Yes, sir. Oh, I didn't see that. I'm sorry.
Rick Yenser, Muncie, over on 500 West. When you're doing these kind of things like trying to control traffic on certain streets, maybe you should think about a countywide speed limit. I can think of a couple roads like over by me, 500 and Nebo, where there's no speeds posted and they just run and gun. So the next time that you're doing things that some people just want their street or their neighborhood, you might think of a countywide view of trying to slow traffic down. Because I know we've had a couple wrecks there at 500 and McGuire, even though there's a traffic light there.
Thank you. That being the only speaker signed up, what's your pleasure?
Make a motion to close the public hearing. Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Now, starting with our ordinance she ran, the employee of the month.
Yep, so we have one nomination from the Justice Center this month. Mr. Hansard and Miss Miranda have made a nomination of Melissa Ritchie. I believe Mr. Hansard's going to present.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jeff Hansard, Chief Probation Officer. This was actually a joint nomination by myself and Jane Miranda, Community Corrections Director. And we nominated Melissa Ritchie, who's the financial manager at Community Corrections, who's, I know, done an outstanding job. And some of Jane's comments, and we all know this, that Melissa plays a huge role in all the finances at Community Corrections. And Community Corrections really runs off a lot of grants from DOC and different funding sources, and it's a lot of work. And Melissa's the resident expert on that, and I definitely get where Jane's nomination comes from. She's also makes herself available to help any other department in the Justice Center when we're dealing with financial matters or need advice on them. That came into play with the probation department recently. We had went through a DOC grant year-end audit process, and that's not fun even on the best days. But the auditor I was working with, she told me, she said, "Do you know Melissa at Community Corrections? Talk to her." And so I reached out to Melissa, and she came over and spent a couple hours helping out, and just within the next day, said, "Hey, give this to the DOC auditor and turn it back in." And the DOC auditor closed it out, no issues, and really attributed a lot of that success to Melissa. So just a token of our appreciation for Melissa and all she does over at the Justice Center. So thank you, Melissa.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
You can make a speech if you'd like, Melissa. You're all good?
I don't think we have any appointments.
No updates.
No update. Any business you'd like removed? If not,
I don't believe we have anything on the tower lease. Does the auditor's office want us to discuss OpenGov?
Sure, is that next?
It's the second item under table business.
Okay. I think it's just coming back to the table from where it was the last meeting, if I remember correctly.
I'll make a motion to remove OpenGov from the table.
Second.
roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan,
Yes.
So this software is something that the auditor's office has been using. It got expanded to also support American Rescue Plan management, and it has been fully funded out of those funds, out of ARP. ARP all has to be spent by December 31st this year, so ARP will not be available to fund this going forward. So my main question is, how's this going to get funded?
I would think that would go into the auditor's budget. Ed's not here,
Okay.
so we need to,
Let's try. How long is this? I see it shows for July of 26, $126,007.86. Then for January 1st of each of the next 4 following years, $94,766.78.
I believe it was 5 years
Okay.
altogether.
And then so there's already a contract in place, or we wouldn't be using them,
Right.
but it's been fully funded out of ARP. So starting January 1st of 27, that would have to be funded from somewhere else. So
I, th-
Not-
I feel like there's more work to be done on this. It was stated in a meeting that OpenGov had went to other departments and spoke with them about this, and that, from what I have found, has not happened. I know they keep bringing up about permitting and licensing through the Planning and Zoning Commission. I asked them in here last meeting if anyone had got with them. Nobody had. I know there's been conversation about asset management and with our roads. Asked Tommy, has anyone from OpenGov met with them? Prior to that, nobody had. I just feel like there's more work, and if we're truly going to use this for permitting and licensing with the Planning Commission and going to use it for asset management for the roads and some of those that keep, those are the big topics that keep coming up. I feel like we need to get with those departments and see if this will even work for them. I don't feel like we're ready to proceed forward with this.
And I would like to say too, I want to add, now that I'm getting my thoughts together on this, this is towards the like One Touch initiative, where the OpenGov that we currently use and have a contract with is for our OpenGov website, that is for the transparency reason of the financial planning and budget and such on the OpenGov website, where this pertains to the One Touch initiative that is trying to be implemented across the county in order to basically, hopefully, simplify things down the road. So when you're looking at these numbers, yes, that would be the auditor's budget over the 5-year course.
And if you could get us maybe 1 or 2 counties that have gone to some of these programs, I would like to talk to them. And maybe we could go visit them and talk to their departments, how they're getting along with it. Someone always has to be the first, and we might be the second or third, but if that first one's doing well, that's my opinion. Our thoughts.
To Commissioner Henry's point, there are 35 separate software services identified
Right.
on this proposal. But if you add all those annual fees up, it's a lot more money than what we're talking about. I mean, a lot.
It is a bunch more.
Well, the savings would be if we could do away with some employees as they retire. It would pay for itself until then, too.
I feel like we need more information, and you're right. None of these figures add up. I would like to see something that,
Yeah,
if we're getting a savings, then show us the savings. But the paperwork we're getting doesn't, none of this adds up.
Yeah, for January 1st of next year, 27, 94,766.78. I don't know which of these 35 services are being requested to add up to that number. And then, are those departments on board?
So you would like these amounts like broken down as far as which areas they pertain to?
Yeah.
Where the savings would be. And I'm sure the efficiency would improve, but you have to look at the savings also.
So I think the first year we would have to pay $206,000 or a little over, because I think you're going to have to you got to pay for the professional services, and then start with the scheduled payments at the bottom. I think is how they're doing this.
Well, the 126,007.86, that was going to be now, and that was including these these amounts I do know include the 40% discount that they were offering in order to get it signed, I believe, prior to today, June 1st.
And
So
does it include the 80,000 then also? It says custom deployment from OpenGov Professional Service Team, $80,880.80.
For July 1st.
Yeah, July 1st of 26.
I see that, and I believe it does, but don't quote me because
Okay.
I'm not positive.
So that means there's an ARP payment coming of $126,007.86 July 1st,
If we approve it.
if we approve it.
No, that's the one that he was asking to be paid out of auditor's contractual in hopes that he could come back and ask for appropriation in contractual because we've already budgeted our contractual
Okay.
for the year. So if we were to use the contractual money, of course, then it would fall short of paying the bills that we've already budgeted for. So no, it was not going to come out of he was requesting for it to be paid out of the auditors.
With an appropriation out of ARP later.
No, with an appropriation out of general into the auditor's contractual later.
Gotcha.
I want to make a motion to table it.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, approval of the minutes of May 18th.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Johnson's here to make a presentation.
Good morning, Kyle Johnson, Chief Information Officer, Office of Information. I drafted a policy and procedures for our meeting video that we run out of the audio video room back there. Up until now, there was really no policies or procedures, and I think it was needed just to make sure our communication and everything runs smoothly. So that was distributed to all the boards and commissions and the recording secretaries and elected officials so they understand kind of what we expect in terms of communications ahead of meetings and the capabilities in terms of having presentations up here. We need to have that material ahead of time due to constraints with our network security and the software that's required to make that available through the stream as well. So in addition, we have a new employee that's been here about a month. His name's Kevin Misbach. He's back in the audio video room running the show, which I love because now I don't have to sit back there and do it. So he's doing an excellent job.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions about the policy or anything?
The basic gist of the policy is to provide the presentation materials ahead of the meeting.
Exactly.
And to, if you're going to present, try to be here 20 minutes ahead of time.
Yeah.
Just try to keep everything running smoothly or not having to do stuff last minute and delay any meetings.
I was sitting over there in Kyle's office talking to him here not too long ago. We had a meeting scheduled for 4 or 4:30, 4 o'clock, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I was sitting there talking to him, and I said, well, we have this meeting at 4. He said, what meeting? So we need to make sure that we're letting them know.
Yeah.
We're pretty quick. We can get over here pretty quick, but
Yeah, but
5 minutes is pretty.
the bottom line is you had to drop what you was doing and come over here with me. So, and we appreciate that,
Yep.
but we need to communicate better.
Yes,
All
we
right.
do.
That's my point.
We appreciate your cat-like reflexes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
I'll make a motion to adopt the new Office of Information Policy and Procedure for County Meeting Video Recording and Streaming.
Second,
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
yes.
Commissioner Brand.
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
I would ask that a copy of this get posted outside the meeting.
And HR could send it to department heads. Also would help. Okay. County-owned lot. Derek Snyder.
Don't believe Mr. Snyder's here. We had some further communication with Mr. Snyder last week. The property he was asking about is one that the commissioners had given to the land bank. So we had directed him to go to the land bank, but this is a good opportunity to talk just in general. We've had a number of requests for county-owned lots. and asking, hey, what's the process? The process is, come to the commissioner meeting and get up to the podium and state your business, say what address you're looking for, why you want it, that type of stuff. But we've probably had, I don't know, maybe a dozen requests so far this year for lots. And I would say maybe a third of those we don't own any longer. They're owned by some other entity, either via tax sale, deed sale, or we've granted them to somebody like the land bank. So anybody looking for a county-owned lot, that's the way to do it. And I know, Commissioner Reagan, you wanted to talk about the number of properties that the commissioners own.
Yes, about 10, 12 years ago, when we would get the tax statement for us to pay the drainage, it was about that thick of, and now we're down to probably about this many. And there are still ways that we can give them, Danielle, like to the property owner next door. Do they usually sometimes have first choice on some of those properties?
It's not that it's necessarily first choice. There's just a provision in the statute for adjoining landowners to make a request and for us to be able to transfer those. So depending on who is wanting the property, there are different avenues we have to follow to do that.
I remember one time years ago, there were two people that was one on one side and one on the other side, and so we just had to put their name in a hat and drew out the name. That's how we did it that time. Maybe it wasn't proper. I don't think you were on staff then.
For the record, I do not believe that's official.
Well, it's been about 8 years ago. So
It did happen.
It did happen. Were you here?
Yep, I was
Oh,
here.
okay. So we've learned a lot.
Whose hat did we use?
I'm sorry.
Whose hat did we
I
use?
think it was Tommy's.
Was
I
it Tommy's
forget.
hat?
Yeah, I think it was Tommy's hat.
I forget.
That makes it official.
Okay, thank you. And today we have Mrs. Reynolds here for the IRACs, and she always has good news for us. Thank you. Do we sure?
Daniel.
Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am here to share information about the IRACS program and where we are at today. The last time I was in here was about 6 months ago. So we're sharing our update for that time. We have officially made the move to the Justice Center. We have our phone line up and internet running, which is a positive thing. We were having some difficulty on our end regarding that. So our phone number is still the same, as well as it has cut down on a lot of travel time back and forth for our individuals. So our staff members are able to just go right in and see individuals automatically. We have some items to get out of the second floor, and we hope to do that today. If you look at the program overview, which is on your right side of that folder, we have outcomes from 2022, which we began July 1 of 2022, and these are outcomes through 2025. We have seen 3,330 total participants, 16,146 brief check-ins where we individually check in with individuals. We have 1,676 care coordination sessions, 2,549 recovery plan sessions. That's where we individually meet with individuals that are incarcerated and work on their recovery, their specific recovery targets and what they want to do. And then we have had 232 individuals released from jail to treatment. We've had 2,215 total matrix and wrap groups. That's where we those individuals work in group sessions, and these are evidence-based programs that they participate in. And we have had 681 unique individuals who participated in those programs. So that all being said, our recidivism rate is, since 2022, is 22.6, which is below the state average of 38.2. So those are some very positive things. Some things that have happened since we last saw you was House Bill 1296 has been signed into law. This allows peer recovery coaches to meet with incarcerated individuals prior to release. And this law will go into effect July 1st. You must be an accredited organization to provide services within the jail. And since we were fortunate enough to be a pilot program here at Delaware County, we are one of those accredited organizations. So because of the work and the collaboration between the community and us, we have been able to accomplish that. And as you can see, we've had some other things, peer expansion, some collaboration with the probation department and community corrections. We actually have a peer that is stationed right up there to work with individuals. That frees up a little bit of probation and community corrections time. And then we also have had some 185 individuals recently gone through the community corrections program to be released into treatment. Annual fundraisers and many grants to help with basic services in regards to hygiene items and different things that can help individuals get into treatment, out of treatment, because they have to have certain items that they can and cannot take into treatment, as well as once they're released from jail, sometimes they don't have those items. So we're able to provide those. And then so far our matrix classes, as of this year, we are running 7 classes, which is 14 sessions a week, and that's an hour and a half each session. We have 2 female groups, and the remaining 5 are male groups, which is the higher population, as well as the program is 6 months in length. We also have a participant here who is a graduate of the program who is willing to come up and speak. His name is Ray, and he can come on up while I finish up. And then the next page is, I think we shared this with you last time we were here, was the UMass, the medical school there, and the outcomes of the entire IREX program across the state of Indiana. And then we also have the transportation funding that we were able to collaborate with Delaware County and their opioid settlement. And that grant permitted us to have a vehicle designated just for Delaware County to transport individuals back and forth to treatment, to probation appointments, whatever their need is, whether it be medical or whatever, that we were able to do. And our, as you can see, there's our miles driven. We have also secured a grant that we can't announce yet because it's supposed to come out this week, where we received additional funding, so we will be able to continue that process, and that is on a national level that is recognized because of what has happened here in Delaware and Jay County. So we're pretty excited about that, to be able to continue that, and that is a private foundation that is allowing that to happen.
Good deal.
So I'd like to give Ray the time to share his experience.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I had to say, man, when I was incarcerated in Delaware County, I was ready to go back to prison to get my time over with. I was introduced to the IREX program. The first class I took was the Matrix class. You know, when I first got into class, man, I was taking the class just to get out. And the longer I was in the class, the more I got from the class. The class taught me how to focus on myself, how to become a better person, how to strive in society. The Matrix class taught me how to steps of how to become a better person is, you know, instead of focusing on the drugs that I was doing, how to put that effort into society, how to put that effort into having a job, how to put that effort into staying clean. you know, all the effort I put into using, now I go to work every day. I've got new vehicles. I passed my UAs for drug court. I help out to the sober living program that the matrix class got me in. I help teach matrix class through the Harmony home where I was at for recovery. The matrix class helped me with my marriage. I mean, I feel like it's one of the best classes I've ever took. If it wasn't for IRACs, man, I be in prison for the rest of my life or dead somewhere.
Well, we appreciate you coming up today and sharing your success story and wish you the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I'm very proud of what we've done here. And you're a fine example of what we've done.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions that you have for
Well,
us?
thank you for your leadership, and I cannot say enough about the Recovery Cafe. I wish everybody could go over and have lunch there. It's on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. You're welcome to come in and have lunch with them from 11 to 12, I think, or from 11 to 1.
One, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a nice place, and it's just down the street. But thanks for coming over again and sharing the good news.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Quick question about
Yes.
budget. We have budget coming up. Do you intend to ask for the same amount of money that you've asked for in years past, or a different amount?
Yes, we had intended to ask for the same amount.
Okay. Thank you. Good job. Appreciate it.
Yeah, nice. Okay, now we have a group of people here from the, would you like to introduce them?
Sure. So we have, I'm not sure who's presenting today, but BW did an assessment on the county building, the building that we're in right now. This building was built in 1969, and we have
Thank you.
some issues with code violations, life safety concerns, failed systems, years, maybe even decades of deferred maintenance, active deterioration on the exterior and some in the interior. We're not using the spaces properly what they were intended for, just general critical equipment failures. So the commissioners, back in January, I believe, we received a proposal from BW, and we approved the first phase, which is what's going to be reported out on today. So BW and their team came in and did a complete assessment of the facility. They took all of the buildings drawings, which were all manual, mechanical drawings, and digitized them, and went through, assessed the complete facility, specifically the building systems, HVAC, chillers, coolers, again, all the human life safety stuff. So they're here to present the results of that study that the taxpayers paid for.
Morning. My name's Jay Troring with BW Construction, and like you said, we're here to just present our findings from the report that we conducted. And we're here with DLZ and Amoresco so that they can present their findings from the report as well. The report itself in its full entirety was pretty lengthy, so we're here to present a shortened version of that to hit the highlights, namely the highest priority items that we believe are the most critical. And then there's a cost estimate here at the end that we'll run through as soon as they explain the items that we found.
My name is Scott Carnegie. I'm a project manager with DLZ. I will be covering and addressing the site and architectural elements. Also from DLZ, Josh Appling, he'll be addressing the plumbing, fire protection. Robert Willey will be addressing electrical. Garn Evans, Mark Hairbrandt with Amoresco, HVAC and controls. So as Jay said, we're going to kind of roll through this relatively quickly. It's a pretty tough act to follow the previous presentation, but we're going to do our best. So just quickly, the purpose is to assess the existing conditions related to the building components and systems, looking at maintenance, repairs needed to generally meet current code requirements. So I forget what day or month it was, but to the Delaware County maintenance staff, I'm not sure that they really knew what they were getting themselves into when we asked for them to tag along with us for 2 or 3 days. We walked every square inch of the facility. Everybody here walked the facility. So in the full report, you'll see photographs and written narratives of what we're going to be talking about. The qualification, the facility assessment, as I said, is based on visual observations. We didn't do anything destructive. We didn't tear into walls, see water behind walls, that kind of thing. Observations, reviews don't include, this is typical, but it's not even really all of them relevant. But site surveys, environmental reviews, geotech explorations, and those types of things that you see listed there. So digging into the meat and the potatoes, really what we did in our report, and this is typical of what we do in these types of facility assessments, is we go through and we prioritize into categories 1s, 2s, and 3s. And you can see there on screen, the priority 1s, really what we're focusing on today. Address code compliant life safety hazards, failed or damaged material systems and or equipment. Priority 2s, those are items, the work needs to be completed in approximately 2 to 5 years. We have a caveat, we're going to talk about that here in just a moment. And then priority 3s are things that aren't necessarily code life safety things, but they could be delayed if you didn't want to proceed with those elements now. So facility at a glance, the original construction was 1969, second and third floor renovations, 1975. We believe in 1982 and 1988, based on drawings that we found in the basement that we scanned, there were renovations in 88 and 82 and 88. And then at some point, we know there was a Superior Court remodel, and there's been some various kind of small, insignificant remodels at some of the point throughout the years. So again, just looking at the second and third floors here in a diagrammatic isometric. So now we're digging into the priority 1 elements. And as Jay mentioned before, the full report has all priorities, 1s, 2s, and 3s. We're just going to focus on the 1s. But the concrete pedestrian bridge is failing. Rebar is exposed. So that would be a priority 1 item. I'm going to pause here because you're going to see kind of a common theme in our priority 1s. Priority 1s, at least for the architectural and site-related items, they have to do with building envelope and or code life safety related items. But you can see here, exterior building sealants, obviously integral in, weatherproofing the building, keeping the weather out of the interior of the facility. So we would suggest that the building sealants be replaced. They appear to mostly be original. Various exterior hollow metal doors and frames. A few of them are damaged, beginning to rust, dented, cracked. Double doors at the lower level. There's sandbags down at the bottom level there at the bottom of the ramp. There's also a storm drainage structure there that during a heavy rain event, it was reported to us by maintenance staff that they have seen it surcharge and somewhat partially flood the basement. That's why the sandbags are there. The storefront system appears to be original. It's seen better days. It's past its life expectancy. Various exterior hollow metal doors and frames, gaps at the perimeter of the doors. You can see that in the photograph. Obviously not a good condition. You can also see that in both photographs, top left and right. The panic device in the lower left-hand corner, there are some locations where the panic bar is mounted too high, and this is on the first floor, kind of down that main corridor at the end. The exterior windows are original. When we were on our facility tour, we were going around, some of them were kind of cracked, not completely shut, and I understand why, because we tried to shut them during our tour, and some of them we couldn't completely get shut. But those have seen their better days as well. An exterior window glazing unit, cracked glass, south mechanical room on the second floor. You can see also in some of those photographs where It appears that some water infiltration has occurred at the windows and damaged some of the gypsum board plaster areas. Painted finish of the rooftop mechanicals unit screen. So in the top left-hand corner, you can just see those need to be painted, as well as the steel beams supporting the rooftop units up on the roof. The 2x wood planks, they're deteriorated. They just need to be replaced. That's relatively minor. Masonry mortar joint, there is some tuck pointing that needs to occur. Now, y'all walking around this building, you're going to say, there's no masonry on this building. Well, there is up on the roof. Very limited amount, but there is some need for some tuck pointing. The doors and the frames at the roof level, they need to be painted. So now we're diving into more of the interiors, and you're going to see a lot of life safety code related items, as I mentioned before, in these priority ones. The private toilet room, ceramic tile floors and walls, they're outdated and exceeded their life expectancy. The stall partitions, honestly, in my 32-year career, I've never seen toilet partitions like yours that are completely cantilevered off of the wall. They've seen better days as well. As well as the toilet accessories. So those would be suggested to be replaced when you do a full toilet room renovation, because they have bigger issues. Existing conditions, interiors. One thing that we noticed as we were going through this is the lower level, the fireproofing, the asbestos, which was common back in the 60s and 70s, it's been encapsulated. It's also obviously posted various locations, as you can see there in the photographs. I don't know, we've asked, we haven't seen a phase 1 environmental site assessment, but our recommendation is for Delaware County to have a phase 1 environmental site assessment performed on the building, and that'll come up here in just a moment. A little later in the report. There are a few locations where there's non-ADA compliant door hardware. What I mean by that is back in the 80s, when there's a federal requirement, the Americans with Disabilities Act, you have to have levers. There's a few locations you can see in the photograph there where it's a knob. It's non-ADA compliant. Ramps at the basement data center, as well as the ramp right back there. Behind you all, it's not ADA compliant. The steeper than 1 to 12, which is the maximum slope. There's also no handrail. Various miscellaneous elements such as the electric water coolers, fire extinguisher cabinets, they're not allowed to protrude out more than 4 inches from the face of the wall without a cane detection below them. So that's an ADA violation as well. Finishes at public counters, they're worn and outdated. Also, they're technically not ADA compliant. When I say technically, if it's posted and there's a clipboard there and somebody designated to come up and help somebody that requires assistance, that is acceptable, but the counters themselves are not ADA compliant. The public toilet rooms, as I mentioned before, when I said I was going to talk about this in just a moment, on the first floor in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see there are door actuators, a push button to open the door in an attempt to make those toilet rooms accessible. Good attempt, but by the letter of the law, by ADA, it's non-compliant because of the turning radiuses, even if the doors are open to get through and maneuver through those doors. Grab bars, mirrors, toilet dispensers, paper towel dispensers, those types of things. For the most part, they're not ADA compliant either in virtually any toilet room. Signage, as you all are leaving here, if you walk down the corridor and you look up and you see the signage hanging from the ceiling, that's not ADA compliant. Has to be on the strike side of a door. They have certain height limits requirements. Has to have braille and a pictorial photograph. So signage hanging from the ceiling is not ADA compliant. We also noted the platform in the back there. The platform itself that you all are sitting on is non-ADA compliant. And there are some locations where the doors aren't the minimum 32-inch clear to meet ADA requirements as well. Now we're looking at some of the stairs. The stair guardrails are required to be 42 inches tall, and they're not. There's also a requirement for a 4-inch maximum. If you take a 4-inch sphere, a 4-inch ball, you're not allowed to fit it through the vertical spindles of a guardrail system. You can see there we pulled the tape on it and it exceeds 4 inches. Also, the handrails are required to be 1.5 inches round, continuous, and you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, those are not round. Another thing that we noted is in the upper landing, the very top of the landing, you can see it in the bottom right-hand photograph. It's the stair next to the elevator. It's missing a toe kick. There's no toe kick preventing somebody, if there were somebody down in the very lower level working on something and somebody kicked a pair of pliers or a hammer or something like that and it fell through, it's a long way down, it would definitely do some damage. Also, the stair next to the elevator have open risers. ADA requires those to be a closed vertical riser. Open risers are not permitted anymore. The other thing that we noticed, there are some locations down at the ends of the corridors, there's a mechanical room and there's some mechanical equipment in there. Those are fire rated rooms. There's a label on the doors and the frames, and then the walls go to full height, meaning that any penetration through that envelope, meaning the floors, the ceiling, the walls, have to be fire stopped. And you can see in the photographs, probably the one in the upper left, you can see it the best. Those are penetrations through the roof or the floor above, and those are not fire stopped. So that's something else that we would suggest as a priority 1 item. I'm going to talk just briefly about priority 2s. Again, just hit a couple of the highlights. And the reason that we say this is because there are some priority 2s, depending on whatever project may or may not come out of this. There are some priority 2 items that we would suggest that you couple with priority 1s. Some of the building 2 or priority 2 elements for architectural have to do with, we would suggest replacing the roof. It's currently a single ply 60 mil EPDM ballasted roof. While there's, I don't think, any significant roof leaks, it's due pretty soon. Aluminum copings, flashings, sealants, those types of things really ought to be earmarked for the next 5, 6, 7 years. It's going to be due. The other thing that we would suggest is a priority 2 to couple with priority 1, pending some of the mechanical work in particular. Any work above the ceilings for duct work, piping, replacement, those types of things, you might as well go ahead and replace the ceilings and not put up what we just took down. So that's just one example of a priority 2 element that would make sense to couple with priority 1, pending the approved scope of work. I'm happy to hand it over to Garn.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Garen Evans. I'm with Amoresco. We were our part on the team was to look at the HVAC systems. Always laugh. HVAC is something you don't see, but when it doesn't work, you're pretty well aware of it. Real quick, typically in a building like this, the mechanical HVAC system consists of systems that make the heat or cooling, distribute, then the second system distributes that, and then there's a control system to operate that. In the case here, you have boilers down in the basement. Those both have, our priority 1s, we have cracked heat exchangers, so we would recommend getting those replaced. There's some small heaters and different systems around the building that do not operate. Some of these are original to the original 69 construction, so those could be our priority 1 to be upgraded. Moving on, the boilers, again, they create the heat. Up on the roof, you have some chillers. Those are actually in relatively good shape. I believe we had those as a priority 3. They're not something, as a matter of fact, we were involved in a project where those were replaced about 10 years ago. So they still have some existing life on those. There's some smaller equipment that is older that could be replaced, like dedicated for data rooms, computer rooms. And then you can see there's some miscellaneous, just some damage to some of the insulation that we would recommend getting repaired, but it's not real significant. Scott had mentioned mechanical rooms on each end of the building, L-shaped building. There's a mechanical room. In those mechanical rooms is the part of the system that moves the air handlers. That equipment is original to the building. It's well past its typical service life. You can see some pictures there, and there's a lot more in the full report. Just over the years, the disintegration of those units, we would definitely recommend having those replaced. And again, we'd have to make sure we don't have any concerns with asbestos, just make sure that that would be handled as well. Too fast. And then Scott had mentioned the ceilings. Our priority 2 was more up above the ceiling. If you look, I was looking around, there's no diffusers in here. There's no air outlets that you can just see visibly in the ceiling tile or returns. And the reason being, if you look at the little groove around these light fixtures, that's where the air comes through. And then there's some that are set up to bring the air back out. It's not uncommon for 60s, 70s construction. Definitely don't see it now. So the issue we would have is if you start to take all that out, as Scott mentioned, where do you start and stop? Ceiling's going to come out. Our light fixtures are going to come out. We would definitely recommend upgrading and putting in new LED flat panels, and you have those in some areas that have been remodeled. But again, that's a priority 2 thing that I would almost say if you're going to remodel or rephase or repurpose an area, because you guys know there's a lot of this building that is not used with your newer facility and services being moved there. Oh, excuse me. That's when I would recommend, that's when we would get into the space itself and do that work. One thing that does kind of get in some of the areas is your control system. And I mentioned that. That's relatively new, but the front end on it, the brains, if you will, needs to be updated. The system is it's an obsolete system, but just an upgrade to that. And by having that, it would allow you to do a little more energy efficiency programming on the system as it is right now. Even if you didn't do all the other repairs, that upgrade could allow for some energy savings in how you currently operate the system. But again, it's our focus was really on what needed to be done now, and then this tier 2 or priority 2 being when you decide what you want to do with certain areas. That's certainly when you would want to redo ductwork and make it applicable for your new space. I think that was it for HVAC.
Morning, Josh Appling, mechanical engineer with DLZ. So I took a look at the fire protection and plumbing systems in the building. So the real big concern and issue that came up was that essentially it's very difficult to get hot water to any of the fixtures, especially when you get past the basement. My belief is that's likely due to the hot water return and the recirculation. It probably needs rebalanced, need to review it to see if more recirculation needs to be provided, so at those far fixtures you're not having to wait 10-15 minutes because you got to wait for that water to clear that's cooled down overnight or over an extended period of time of non-use. So we believe it just need to review that and make some adjustments and make sure it's balanced to get that water to where it needs to be. The electric water coolers, I think every single one of them throughout the building were unplugged when we walked around, so those need to be replaced, and certainly to meet some of the ADA requirements like Scott mentioned. There was no fire protection located in the IT server room. Typically in those type of spaces, because you have such expensive equipment, you usually have some type of dry chemical system that would protect the equipment in the case of an event, but then it's not water-based, so it's not going to ruin the equipment. So we do recommend adding something like that because that's obviously expensive equipment, but critical equipment, I'm sure, to the operation here in the county. That's pretty much, there's not too much on the plumbing side. A lot of the category 2 items are going to be, you know, upgrading the dated fixtures and everything else. But I know the maintenance staff has been going through and replacing faucets and flush valves as needed throughout. But the hot water heating was really the major item on that end.
Good morning. Robert Willie, Senior Electrical Engineer for DLZ. I kind of looked through all the electrical, which includes the lighting, the power system, data system, and everything. And honestly, there's a lot of the power system is level phase 2, 3 type stuff. It's original. It's nearing its end of life, but there are a couple things that you can see up here, particularly with regards to the exit signs and emergency lighting. quite honestly, the emergency lighting, I haven't seen that style in years. So I'm not sure how much it works. We did not test any of the operations and I didn't get into it. And you can also see from the bottom left there that that's a picture of the outside canopy. There's no lights in some of that area. So I had those as priority ones, particularly the exit signs too. There was one installation of power wiring that I caught, and the staff actually pointed it out, and it's Romex wiring. It's above one of the ceilings. Romex wiring is only allowed for residential use. So how it got installed here, I have an idea, but we all know how that works. I think that's it. I'm from an electrical side. Like I said, most of the electrical is priority 2s and 3s. So, all right.
So the end of this report here just summarizes all of the items that were just discussed in bullet point form. So I won't go back through all of these in the essence of time. But at the end of the packet here, we wanted to point out some of the hard construction costs that we anticipated as a result of the study. And so what BW Construction did is we took all the items that the team members here spoke about and compiled them into a spreadsheet and assigned costs estimated to each one of those, sort of in a menu format, and then essentially took that and looked at what's the probable cost and a range of costs that you guys could expect if you took all of bucket 1 or all of bucket 2 or all of bucket 3. And so that's what we're showing here on this slide is we talked about priority 1 items, roughly in the $3.5 to $4.25 million cost range. And then, of course, the other 2 priorities you can see here as well. So if you did everything in the full report, it would be $12 to $14 million. These costs are based on today's dollars, assuming you would have a project that would start towards the end of this year, having to go through design process and procurement and all of that sort of thing. So there is a factor of escalation figured into these numbers to accommodate for that as well. And this is just an example of the spreadsheet that we put together to show you each of the line items in the estimate. And so really it's up to you as a team to decide at this point. I mean, it could be any number of these items that you decide to do. Again, to the point that many people have made today, we do strongly recommend that a lot of the priority level 2 items be considered as well if you're going to plan to be in the facility for an extended period of time, more than a few years, right? And so at this point, we just wanted to present the facts and let you understand and decide what to do from here. And our team's happy to meet with you all individually at a point when you've had a chance to understand what's in the report and discuss what options you might have to move forward with a future project if you decide to do that. So we're happy to answer any questions for you today as well.
Thank you. Very well presented, and appreciate the small details.
Yeah, I would say before we make decisions on what we want to include in priority 1, we need to do like a piping corrosion test to figure out the extent to which we do or do not need to replace the plumbing. The hot water is definitely an issue. That's one of the common complaints. We are working very actively and proactively on ADA. We did a complete ADA assessment of all county-owned buildings, not just this building, within the last 6 months. And we have a long list of recommendations that we've been going through knocking off. There's no plan, honestly, to address every single issue on that list, but we're working on it because we don't have the funding. I think also the phase 1 environmental would be important to conduct also before we make a decision on what we do or don't want to do. So again, once again, we could understand the extent to which we would need to mitigate or not mitigate any concerns with the asbestos that's been encapsulated in the building. I believe that we need to look at funding. The commissioners put into process a public hearing, public feedback process for the Cumulative Capital Development Fund, which we heard overwhelmingly no, and we voted it down, so we don't have that funding to support something like this. We also know that in a couple of years, the local income tax as it relates to edit funding won't be available for the commissioners any longer. So, any monies that we decide to spend are going to have to go into our budget. And I'm talking to my fellow commissioners right now, we need to decide pretty quickly what we want to do because we need to build it into the budget. We need to ask county council to fund these remodels. And you can see that just very, very simply on the phase one stuff, which maybe seems obvious because the building's old. There's a lot that goes into fixing some of this stuff. I think we're looking at $4 million just to get through the priority one and a few of the priority two things that would be what I would consider the bare necessities.
We do have the rent money from the mental health facility that we haven't spoken about. What we're going to be doing with that monies,
Yep.
those monies.
Yeah, so some of that money is already earmarked to pay our insurance and to maintain, to the extent that we're required per the triple net lease, the maintenance on that facility. Some of that has already been spoken for in that, but we also will have some extra money from that was planned to be put into a special fund to take care of that building in the future. So we're not deferring maintenance at that facility, like we're experiencing here right now. One other thing I think is important to understand is the exterior of this building. We have to get it weatherproofed. You go look at the pedestrian bridge, go underneath the pedestrian bridge and look up. That's probably the most obvious point, but if you really know what you're looking at and you're looking in the right places, the exterior of this building is suffering. And if we don't get on it quick, within the next couple of years, we could see some damage that won't be able to be prevented any longer, right? It'll have to be mitigated. So I think there's a significant amount of money that we need to put into the budget.
I agree.
And I was kind of concerned when you start this project, how we keep the place open and you just work around us, and maybe we might have to move the staff, our room, office somewhere, because we do have some facility open that we can move people.
Right,
But-
yeah. No, it's obviously a very invasive project to do. And so we'd want to work with you to figure out where that makes sense for you to move people, or if we do it at a floor at a time or an area at a time, we can work that out. We're flexible in terms of construction, how we do that. But yeah, it's obviously going to be an
Do you have a
invasive process.
timeline, like how many months you would be here for the priority one?
It's a great question. It would probably depend on how it's broken up, how we would phase it. If we had free reign to do the whole thing at one time, it's probably, I don't know, Scott, 8 months to somewhere in that neighborhood to complete all of it. So if you're extending out by some phasing, it might be a year plus, just a guess.
Thank you.
Yeah, it'll definitely have to be phased. We don't have a facility large enough to relocate all county services in this building somewhere else to get free reign of the facility. So as an example, Madam President, I believe that we would want to know, right now we basically have an open floor of capacity in this building. We have a 3-floor facility with a basement and we're only using 2. If you walk around, you can see the space is just not fully utilized. So we need to figure out where we want to end up. We know that we want the first floor to be the most commonly used public services. So the offices that are there today probably make the most sense to remain there. So the ideal situation would be maybe perhaps we would want whatever's on the 3rd floor today to end up on the 2nd floor. I'm making up this story as I'm going. So we would move everything off the 1st floor onto the 2nd floor and redo the 1st floor first, and then move all those public services back to the 1st floor, and then then redo the 2nd floor, and then move everything from the 3rd floor down into the remodeled 2nd floor. Then we can make a decision on what we want to do on the 3rd floor. What do you want to do at the end of the day? If we have a whole floor that's not utilized, do you want to remodel it? Do you want to, you know, gut it out? I don't know what we want to do with it at the end of the day, but, you know, everything I just explained is probably going to take 3-4 years. That's to get to the third floor to even consider. And that's doing the building mechanicals in parallel. So it's, and it's going to be more expensive doing it in phases too.
I'm very impressed with the 3 businesses joining together. I thought that was very unique.
So we have some decisions to make. I believe we need to get some quotes on piping corrosion testing, probably phase 1. And, I do believe that our IT room fire suppression is something that we need to do irrespective of what we do with this report. I think we need to protect our IT room.
Well, I think the priority 1 cases we need to prioritize. We don't have $3.5 or $4 million to put into this project. So I think the priority 1s we need to prioritize the priority 1s, if that makes sense, and decide which ones we can afford right now. So we don't have that money.
Agree. But we have to put something in the budget.
I
Council.
agree with you. We don't have it right now.
Nope.
But I think if we prioritize this, and you're right, I think we do need some further studies done, but we could prioritize this, and maintenance may be able to do a couple of these.
Yeah.
So,
Jay, can you recommend somebody to do the piping corrosion testing?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a handful of local firms that can complete those studies for you if you'd like us to share those.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay. Great news.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think we ought to work on the phase 1 though also,
Absolutely.
because we start messing with some of this stuff, we're gonna create a problem.
Yeah.
So,
There are all the unintended consequences we don't know about yet. Every
Yeah,
time you
absolutely.
break the bark on something, you're gonna
Yeah.
find a new
I don't know
issue.
what surprise.
Yep.
Okay. The Eaton paving interlocal agreement, $61,380.
So this interlocal is with the town of Eaton. This has 3 different areas that we are going to assist them with. The first one is Cranell Drive from railroad tracks to Romey Street. That is approximately $13,900 in materials that the town will be responsible for. The second one is Wilman Road from Indiana Avenue to Eaton Town Limits, approximately $38,920. And then Romey Street from the north approach of bridge number 27 to Indiana Avenue, which is approximately $7,297.50. Of course, all of these prices are subject to change. I'm not sure if they're all going to be done at the exact same time or in phases, but we will work with the town of Eaton. The county will provide the labor and assist with that. So this interlocal is the agreement that once we adopt this, Eaton will also sign off on it. And then there is a resolution that goes with it to adopt this interlocal.
Very well.
I believe Eaton Town Council has a meeting next Tuesday at 6:00, where they would need to also consider approving this. So the spirit of this agreement is they pay for the materials and we do the labor. I think it's a great deal for everybody.
it is a good deal, but I think we need to be cautious because our guys can't spend the summer paving in some of these smaller areas. I mean, we got to be careful with that.
I agree 100%.
I don't, and I want to help. I always want to help the small towns, but we need to be careful and not. We don't want to get a list from one of the towns saying, "Hey, this is what we want." I mean, these are some roads that are in bad condition. That we sent the Durapatcher out and Durapatched some of them, but That's probably not going to hold. So we're trying to help here is all we're doing.
Yeah.
So this isn't, we're not taking on paving in the small towns. We're trying to help one of the towns out that's kind of having a difficult time. So
Cash flow
I
problem.
just want to make that clear.
No, I agree. We paved more roads last year than previous years, and this year we're going to pave even more. So we want to make sure we get our work done. And I just want to remind my fellow commissioners that the road that is Wilman Pike, it was actually the highway department that came and said, "Hey, we're doing Wilman Pike up to the town limits. What do you think if we go all the way to Indiana Avenue?" So it was basically at the request of the highway department.
And that's a good
then,
idea.
Yeah,
They're
I'm
already
okay
out
with
there.
the Ox Industries thing there, that's Cornell Drive, but that you were talking about,
Yeah.
that was probably one of the worst roads in Delaware County there by the siding for the railroad. So we did Durapatch, but that's not going to get it. And then the Romey Street is north of a county-owned bridge.
Yep.
To finish that project up to Indiana Avenue. So, but I agree with
I
you.
just want to be clear on what we're doing
Yep.
here.
Yep.
So I'll make a motion to approve the agreement.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan,
Yes. Thank you. Okay, ready for the recorder? Mrs. Smoot?
Good morning, Jan Smoot, Delaware County Recorder. And I just, you should have all gotten a copy of the agreement for our next scan project that we are excited to do.
And we always like it when you come and you have the money ready.
Yes, yes, that helps a lot, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Yes, so I don't know if you need an explanation or if you have questions.
My question is, this is 168,000, correct?
Yes.
Should there be should we get two quotes or bids or on this?
Yeah, they did raise that to 150, didn't they?
I mean, technically,
Yeah. And the other issue that I saw is I wanted to point out, and I think Jan had done this before, so there wasn't an issue to my understanding, but they do have to have 24-hour access for 7 days, so just making sure everybody was aware. But the one concern was the 25% due on signing. I think the rest of the terms of the billing were okay, but that was the one that I think causes issue where we normally have to have them do that in a different fashion.
And I did reply to that email that the previous scan projects have always been set up that way and approved that way. And also I've reached out to Sheriff Skinner. They were a tremendous help with our scan project in 2024 with the after-hour access and helped us arrange the security, which we also paid for. And he's already agreed to help us with that as soon as we get this approved and get a date secured. And as far as the other a quote, it's hard to probably understand, but that through our software and the ability to have that integrated and imported into our software, we've never had to have another quote, another bid, outside bid before.
So Indiana Code 5-22-7 very clearly states anything $150,000 above will have formal competitive sealed bid is required. Requirements generally include a public notice, specification, public bid opening, and then award to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. So I don't know how we got around that in the past. There was a project similar to this a year or two ago.
Yes.
For much more money, right?
Yes.
And it was in conjunction with the auditor's office.
They backed out.
They backed
had
out.
considered scanning in their transfer books downstairs, and they were hoping to get some of the American Rescue funds.
Yeah.
And then the tornado went through Selma, so they withdrew that proposal, and because that money was needed there, and so then they decided they didn't have the funding and they were not going to pursue that at that time. So we went ahead and moved forward since we had the funding in our perpetuation fund, which that's what that fund is for.
Gotcha.
so I think what's happened though in the past, it sounds like, and I couldn't remember, but this company works with our software already, correct?
That's who we get our software through, Fiddler.
So I think
Mhm.
that's why,
Right toward Turner.
that's why it's just this company.
We could easily build that into the RFP. We could specify which software we use and stick it out there. And if we only get one respondent, you only get one respondent. But going through the process, I don't see how it's optional.
Could you repeat that code, please?
Yeah, Indiana Code 5-22-7. And Jan, I'd be more than happy to work with you in your office to put together an RFP, and then we can issue it through Brooke Strubel's office to get it out there. Be glad to sit with you and put the requirements together, highlight your software, whatever revision level we're using, and the scope of the project that you're wanting to accomplish. We can put an RFP together very quickly. And then there was something about down payments.
Just number 1 on the billing milestones on page 5.
25% up front.
Yeah.
The
Now,
rest of them are okay. 2 and 3 are okay. It's just number
Okay.
1.
but we can't put money down for a service like this, correct? We're not allowed to by law.
Correct, unless it's already been approved by the council.
If council's approved the funding,
Yeah, there's a statute that allows it if council's approved the funding already, but I don't think that's happened.
And I don't know, because our perpetuation fund is unappropriated.
so it would have to be appropriated.
No, we
It
just
doesn't
use,
have to be
no,
appropriated.
no, we just would have to have approval for the
Okay.
agreement.
So you-
And it's-
the way I see it, we have two choices. We could go to council and ask them to approve it, even though it's not necessary. And then you could potentially provide the down payment, or we build it into the RFP that there are no down payments.
I think it's needs to build in the RFP because what she's saying is she controls that money.
Yeah.
No one else does.
Right.
So that's, I just think it needs to put in the RFP.
Now, if you do this project, does this get you completely caught up?
except for mortgages, and that can be the next recorder's decision how they want to move forward with that, because most mortgages are 30 years searches, sometimes 50, very rarely 100. And so we are already would be covered what we have scanned in currently to cover like the 30 to 50 year.
Gotcha.
So
In terms of size and scope, would the mortgage project be about the same size as this one or the one previous?
it would be comparable or less than probably this one. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Still going to be $100 and some $1,000.
I would have to do a count of the books
Right.
and to determine that, but it would not be as big as the one in 2024.
Just a general comment here for my commissioners and the other elected office holders that have a requirement to retain records. This isn't going away. Digitizing this stuff is going to be an ongoing requirement. You can buy a pretty darn nice scanning system that can do, you pick it. You can do 90 documents an hour. You can do whatever. You can do complete books. These systems are automated. You can buy the Mac Daddies from Cincinnati system for $65,000-$80,000. So, if the auditor still hasn't done their project, we have a basement full of records that have to be retained, scanned, something that's going to have to be dealt with if we're going to remodel this building. Should we be looking at buying a scanner and putting a resource in place to do this? We don't have to decide right now. I'm just saying it's something we should consider.
Yeah. And the only thing I want to say, and that would be great, but then you have to have the manpower. And then from our previous scan projects, I just can't say how great of a job they did enhancing, cleaning, importing those images, because some of these images are, not in great shape to start with. And it's just so seamless going into our software system. So that's great, but there's also an advantage to this avenue as well.
Yep, I totally get
And
it.
I know we don't have the manpower in our office.
Yep. That's why I said we would have to add a resource. We'd have to add a full-time dedicated person just to scan documents. That's all they do. And I know the clerk's office does a really good job with the new documents that they get. They all have scanners at their desk, and as they're creating new documents, they're scanning them in. And they're even going back and doing some retro scanning. But, you know, this digitizing isn't going away, and this isn't going to be the last time. What was the cost of the project the last time? About $250,000?
I don't have it. It was 200 and around maybe 220,000.
$220,000. This one's 168, and you're going to have another $100,000 one at least for their office. Anyway, we don't have to decide right now. I'm just saying these are the kind of conversations, considering that finances aren't getting any more available.
Nope.
And I welcome anyone. I've opened it up before for any of the commissioners, the council members to come visit our office, see what we do on a daily basis, see how our software works, what we do with the documents as they're recorded. And when we do these scan projects, that's what we do, even though we've been so busy the last few months, just like all the other offices in the county building. But when on the slower days, if we have them, that's what we work on is the back indexing. And I'm pleased to say with the first scan project, it was scanned in back to 1965, and it's currently, we're into October of 61. So we're narrowing that gap of almost having that first scan project scanned in. So then we can start the second one, and then eventually, hopefully this third one.
Yep.
So I would just like to give a shout out to the girls in my office, Paula Morrison, Marcia McIntyre, Robin Reese, Bethany Whitaker, and Mariah Habecker. Collectively, they have 76 years of experience at the county building.
Yeah, they do a great job.
Yes.
When I visited your office, I saw everything that you talked about except for how the software works. I didn't look under the hood, so to speak, but I think your office does a great job. So I think next steps here, what the commissioners are asking for is to put an RFP out. So if you can send me the information that you sent to get the quote from, what's the name of this company?
Fiddler Technologies.
So whatever you sent to Fiddler to get this quote, if you can send that to me, and then whatever the name of your software is, I will put together a rough draft of an RFP, send it back to you, and then I'll make a time to meet with you if necessary to finalize an RFP. We'll get it to Brook and Struble, we'll get it published, and we'll get it moving as quick as we possibly can.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Do we need to
Make a motion.
table this? I don't think so. We just keep it under old business.
Yeah, I think that's fine
Yeah.
because you're gonna
Table.
get something else come back with your bid, so.
We'll just leave this and we'll leave
just leave
this
it
and
under-
put it under old business.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Chambers is here for new pump repair.
Morning, Commissioners. Don Chambers, Superintendent of Maintenance for Delaware County. This here is about the turbines for the chilling tower. There's two turbines that are, one is actually bad and the other one is going bad. I just received an email this morning, which I wasn't able to get to you. The one to repair one is going to be a rough case scenario of $8,800 is to repair one. And when you repair one, you're looking at 4 to 5 years after repair of lasting as long as about 4 or 5 years. Now to get a new one, you're looking at roughly a little over $31,000 for a brand new one. And for the one on the inside, there's two of them side by side, one up against the wall and one on the outside. The one on the inside of the wall, if you install one at the very front, you have to remove the first one to install the second. So it's wise to put if we're going to get a new one, to put the new one in the back and put a rebuilt one in the front. I mean, it's $8,800 to rebuild one, and they've got to do a lot of machine work to it. It's been ate up with corrosion and stuff for a long period of time. It's been there since 1995, since it was a school. I mean, those are the options we have. As far as it's $31,055 for a new one and then to install it. Then $8,800 just to get it rebuilt.
So we have one down right now.
We have one down and the other one is going bad.
Yep.
And without those, we will not have any cooling throughout the jail or any of the whole entire building.
Do you know what the lead time is to rebuild and what the lead time is for the new?
Well, for the new one, they could probably get it in with a week's time. To rebuild it, it's probably going to be another week. So basically, a week's time.
So, and in order to replace one or install a new one, we have to do it on a weekend, or we can do it in a day?
Well, we can do it in the daytime, but again, it's going to shut, no matter what, even on the weekend, it's still going to shut cooling down.
Right.
And right now, the second one is getting worse as we're speaking.
Yep.
And eventually, it's just all going to stop.
So this quote so the new pump's $26,880 and to install it's $31,055. Does that already understand weekend work? We're going to do
No, this is just during the daytime.
So we would have to update this quote to be able to install
For a
on a
weekend
weekend, so
job,
we don't
yes.
so we don't interrupt business.
Yes.
And they'd want to,
I'm going to say roughly to change out the rear one and to install it, and you're going to be down probably 4 to 5 hours.
So there's two in there, right?
Yes.
One's working,
One's working,
one's not.
one's not.
and the one working's not real good shape.
The one working now is going bad. It's leaking like somebody turned the faucet on. And it's just a matter of time.
My opinion is we should buy the new one. We need to get an updated quote to include the weekend to install it. We should buy a new one, install it next to the wall.
Yeah.
Take both the pumps that are in, send them out to get one of them, the best one, rebuilt. That's my opinion.
But
And then when
today,
we get it
could we-
rebuilt, reinstall it, so we have the redundant setup.
so we can make our motion for this, so we can, I mean, I don't want to wait another 2 weeks to
What?
come back.
It's my opinion that we need to get both of them rebuilt.
We do. I mean,
And
that's
just
the
have-
problem.
If they're possible, one of them we know that has to have a whole lot of machining and things done on
Yeah,
it. So
I understand, but my view would be have three, have two
Have a spare.
in operation and one spare. And if we could get it for $8,800,
yeah,
I don't think that's bad.
no, it's definitely not bad. And again, I'm thinking a little bit longer term. What are we going to do if we do this upgrade or update on the building? Are we going to, will those pumps be part of that upgrade? Right. So, well, I think we need to buy a new one, but we need this quote updated to install it on weekend, get it installed next to the wall because it'll have the longest life, I hope. Sometimes you buy bad new stuff too. Happens a lot. And then get those two out and get them evaluated for rebuild. Get those quotes back and let's see what those quotes look like.
So there'll probably be two fellows, staff members doing the work on a weekend, so can we kind of estimate? And
I don't think that our folks are going to do this work.
no, we're not going to,
Okay.
but
It's-
whoever you,
They had special equipment they had to brought in to help do this, and it took about 4 guys to
Four
take the
guys?
one out that's out now. And it's probably just figure another 4 guys and probably about 5 hours apiece for each one, probably.
So you have one out right now.
Yes,
yeah.
Is that the one that quote come in for $8,800?
yes.
So I'll make a motion that we spend the money to get that one rebuilt. And I'll also make a motion that, or add to my motion that, I think $40,000 would do that.
Yes.
That we
Not to exceed.
not to exceed $40,000 for the new replacement, and all these two then would be replaced on the weekend. We'd
Okay.
pull the other one out, it's down there, and you hang on to it for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes. Thanks, Don.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, the Corson,
Yeah. According to the fire marshal, with with Corson Fire now, for both buildings, the Justice Center and the county building, we're not being monitored by Corson themselves. The fire marshal states that we have to be monitored by a company. And Corson is saying to install what they need to do to monitor it on both buildings is $1,100 to install it. And then annually it's $600 annually. Extra on top of what we're paying now for the services.
1,100 each building
$1,100 each for the initial install and everything.
for each building.
So we're currently self-monitoring. What we have in front of us is $1,100 for the Justice Center, $1,100 for the county building to install the hardware so they can monitor it.
Yes.
And then we would have to update our monitoring service agreement with Corson.
Well, this is to monitor our service also. Because right now they're not monitoring our service. All they do is take care and make sure everything's up and working.
So for an additional $40 a month, they'll monitor each building.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, the fire marshal's been pretty gracious working with us on some of our deficiencies, giving us some time to
Yes.
review them, and I see no reason not to do this.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes,
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you.
thanks so much. Okay, the Indiana Department of Transportation report for contact, final inspection and recommendation.
So this is for the final acceptance of Bridge 193. Construction finished late last year, and then punch list was completed this spring. They have addressed all of their issues, and grass is growing, so this is just a sign off for the final acceptance of Bridge 193 to the county.
This is, Bridge 103 is on 500 North over Mud Creek.
Sorry, 193. Did I say
Yeah.
103?
Yeah,
Yeah,
190.
you- this is 193.
193.
193.
Okay.
Memorial over.
Memorial.
Yep.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I went by there after rain and looked really nice.
It looks nice, I think, yeah. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it with one quick question. So we did have some minor ponding. The rain was still sitting there 72 hours later. They've taken care of that with,
Yes, we have cored holes, and those pockets of water now drain through the deck.
okay,
So,
Yep.
yes.
I seconded that.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes,
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes. Bridge 179.
So Bridge 179, we received bids on May 4th. United Consulting went through and basically confirmed that all of the pieces for these bids were in place. The low bidder is Beatty Construction with $542,740. This is $77,740 above the engineer's estimate, which that would be, I would suggest paying out of our cumulative bridge fund. But they do suggest awarding this contract to Beatty Construction for the revised amount of $542,740. They were off by $60. So
did United say where the actual cost came in higher than the estimate? Which elements of the estimate were different?
there were just a couple of individual pieces. It was kind of spread across the whole estimate. It wasn't one individual piece
Gotcha.
that was higher.
In general, unit pricing was higher across the
Yep.
board.
Yes, correct.
And your recommendation is to take the additional $77,740 from Cume Bridge?
Yes. Yep. And the remaining portion will be funded through the DCRC.
This is the
Make a-
cornbread remodel.
Yeah.
Cornbread over Buck Creek. This is a rehabilitation, correct?
Correct. Yep. Rehab.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes. I would like to entertain a motion to recess for about 8 minutes or 5 minutes. 6 minutes.
I'll make that motion with a public service announcement. We were supposed to start a meeting at 10:30 of the Finance Committee, and obviously that meeting can't start at 10:30. It'll start as soon as the commissioner meeting concludes.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand.
Yep.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes. Thank you. Welcome back to the Delaware County Commissioner meeting, June 1st, and it's now, what is it, 10:42. We will start with Mr. Ashley.
Mike Ashley, Delaware County EMS. I am seeking your permission to sign a new contract with Comcast for internet at our stations. We currently were on kind of a higher speed system than we really needed. We've made some adjustments. So we'll get us pretty substantial savings to redo the contract for 2 years. I'm kind of knocking down the internet we're paying for at our training facility out there because I don't feel like we need to pay all year long for having a few of the bigger groups. But through the Healthcare Coalition, I can get their internet device to run that for just when we need it.
Okay.
So we don't have to pay for it every month.
What will your savings be?
$9,900 for the year.
Glad you found something cheaper. And
Yeah, it's same company, but plus I pointed out to them I could get Starlink's best package for $130 a month, so he knocked us down to $127.90. So
4 sites. What's your pleasure?
Make a motion to approve
I'll second.
contracts.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan,
Yes,
thank you very much.
thank you. And the Dossett Consulting Professional Consulting Service Agreement. Tanya, what would you like to do with that?
this is our annual cost allocation plan for the county. And this company finds us reimbursement. And this year, the reimbursement amount was $331,234.86. That is a 66% of $501,871 in costs that'll be reimbursed. And that comes in on a quarterly basis. They also did a cost allocation for the ARP as well. And that is for, since I did speak with Commissioner Brand this morning, and he did question a couple things on the ARP portion of it. And what it is it's the county is getting reimbursed for all the labor that the county provides to manage and maintain the ARP fund. So does that help answer your question earlier that you were asking?
So that's why the money that's reimbursed goes back into county general, not
That-
back into ARP,
That is correct. Yes, it comes from ARP to county general.
because the labor costs come out of county general to start with.
Yes. Yes. And so the 2023 reimbursement on the ARP was $37,530, and the 2024 reimbursement amount for the ARP was $31,452. So with that, that's what we just went over the other day as far as the cost allocation goes for what they just did. And then this is to renew the contract in order to go forward from here for next year.
So there are two options on this proposal. Which one are you asking us to approve?
I honestly don't have the answer to that.
The first one is a 1 year, does the allocation plan for the year-end financial data for 25 to be used in 27. And the next one is a multi-year, gives you that same assessment, the financial data 25 to be used in 27, but also the year-end financial data for 26 to be used in 28, and the 27 data to be used in 29.
So a 3 year, a 1 year versus a 3 year.
I think it's a
Now
savings
that,
of $3,000.
now that we word it like that, I do remember in our meeting on Tuesday that he did recommend the 3 years, so that is what we would be asking for.
And where's the money come from to pay for this?
For the regular cost allocation plan, which deals with the general, I guess you would say, that comes out of the auditor's contractual services. There is a fund that's shared amongst the courts and prosecutor and clerk. I believe that it can come from, but they all have to be in agreement on that. And that was prior to me being chief deputy, but I do remember it was discussed before. It was not, all agreed upon, so therefore the auditors have been footing the bill. And this year's invoice for that portion was $9,700.
And there will be 2 more years worth of potential rebates for ARP. Right.
Yes, because it's going to go through the year spent. So yes,
Because we're spending through this year.
that's correct.
So,
And they finished 2024, so there would still be 2025 and 2026 to do.
right. And the money that's spent right now to find the rebates for ARP is spent out of ARP, but we won't have money to spend out of ARP next year. So
That's
all
true.
of this will
Everything's
have to
supposed
be,
spent.
all of this will have to come out of the auditor's budget,
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yes.
right? Because we're gonna use the 25 data for 26 and the 26 data for 27. We can't do that until next year, but there won't be any ARP money available
Yes, I
next year.
understand what you're saying.
So he only budgets about 12,000 a year. Does his budget for this?
And Dossett turns around and they hire a company called De Novo Consulting. They looks like they sub this out.
I don't know if they sub out all of it, but
Okay.
I know they do sub out some.
They use their proprietary cost allocation software for the output of the final cost allocation plans, which is basically what we're buying here, right?
You're requesting a 3-year at $33,000, correct?
I think it said not to exceed.
Yeah, not,
Yeah.
That's 11,000 a year, to be clear, not 33,000 a year.
Yeah, I get it.
for 3 years. What's your pleasure?
I'll make a motion, we approve the request.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Okay. Ordinance for second reading, number 2026-07.
This is the one we opened the meeting today with for the public hearing.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-07.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes. Resolutions for approval, joint resolution 2026-101.
So this is one that we saw at our last meeting, and we approved it, if you recall, contingent upon county council approval. And county council had quite a few edits, which I believe we have in front of us. I don't know that we have a red line, but we have the approved as amended version that came from county council. We have a blue line version, actually. If you look on the second page,
Yes,
you'll see.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Blue ink does stand out.
Uh-huh.
Appreciate it.
When will this take effect? Do we have any idea on that?
You talked to me. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Mhm.
I think this is going, I think it's going to happen pretty
Soon.
much immediately.
This is a VIP system,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So is VIP ready to go? All the workflows are installed, so if Jenna processes payroll, it workflows to whoever in VIP,
Right,
or if,
It's a matter of, actually, I just need to touch base with payroll, I guess you would say. But she has been keeping track as it comes in. So all the offices have been contacting her to let her know who's on first, who's on second, that sort of thing.
So it's my understanding that some of this isn't yet. in the system, and that I've instructed some of my offices to
Not,
actually print out the payroll and physically sign them just to cover our offices.
yeah, it's not set up yet, but I mean, she's been keeping track of everyone in order to proceed ASAP, I guess you would say,
Okay.
after
Right.
everyone approves.
I want to be clear because it's been said in meetings that it's set up. It's not set up. So,
It's not being utilized yet, if that's what you mean.
yeah, because it's not set up. It's not being sent out to where they can double sign and
Right,
proofread.
right.
Yeah,
We
it's not-
wanted
it's
to
not-
get everybody on board.
it's not
and
ready
get-
yet. I want everyone to be clear.
Yeah,
Because we have departments that are, and I've told them to print those out and sign them and keep them in a file somewhere to cover themselves.
we still had a few offices, coming in with their answers at the end of last week, so.
Okay.
They wanted to get the answers from all before they start implementing it with anyone.
Yep.
I was in the county council meeting when they made these amendments, and while I understand the logic during the discussion, I still believe that Section 5, under self-pay controls, item number 2, it did say no individual shall approve their own payroll, and they changed it to say no individual shall submit and approve their own payroll. I will not sign anybody's payroll that they didn't sign off on, that they didn't approve. So the reason is, let's say somebody submits a blank payroll to me, manual copy, or it comes in VIP, and they haven't approved it, and I approve it, and there's something wrong with their payroll. It's hard to hold somebody accountable for something that they didn't sign off on. So I believe that Section 5, under self-pay controls, item number 2, should say, no individual shall submit and make final approval of their own payroll. Everybody should have to sign their own payroll.
I agree 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can't hold them accountable.
May I explain that a little bit further?
Sure.
Because we did have, it was kind of like a big discussion at the council meeting as to how to word things, but are you thinking of the individual themselves that does their timesheet, or are you considering like the office manager who does the submission? Because this pertains to the office manager or designee that submits the office as a whole.
Answer's yes, both. So whoever does their individual timesheet should sign off on their own timesheet saying, these are the hours I'm claiming that I believe I'm entitled to per the handbook, per the hours I work, per my department head elected office holder's approval, and I signed off on these, then I will sign it. Also, that office manager is probably processing their own payroll. So if they're not signing off on their own payroll, I'm not signing it either.
Right, they submit, but this is stating that the next person in line is approving that person who submitted, so that that person who's submitting is not the submitter and the approver of their own payroll.
But the way VIP should be structured and can be structured with a workflow is anybody that enters something in VIP, they have to approve it to get it kicked up to the next step. Whoever's next in the workflow, if I'm the office manager, I approve it and you're my approver, I have to approve it in VIP to get it kicked to you. That's the approval in the VIP system. If there's a problem with it, you would send an RFI, a request for information, back, and you wouldn't approve it. You'd kick it back to me with whatever the questions are. I'd have to open up VIP, look at the comments and say, here's what Tanya wants to know, and I'd have to give you those answers and resubmit, thereby approving whatever it was that you asked for. I'm just saying that very simply, just add the word final approval in there. And I think it meets the spirit of the intent of what county council was trying to accomplish, because I was also in that meeting. And it also says, it makes sure that everybody has to approve at every level, whether they submit a timesheet or they're approving a timesheet, they have to approve it at every level. It's my opinion. I'm only one of 3.
Fred?
So to make sure everybody's on the same page, I know there's other departments in here that are the same way. Individuals currently do not sign off on their timesheet.
at least in my department, I know Mike's the same way. We prepare payroll based on a software that we have called the LadTech, which actually has multiple functions and I think should be rolled out across the county because it also has a time clock function as well. Individuals are responsible to make sure that their time is correct in a LadTech, but they never sign off on their individual time. Okay, the way that it works is that we have a payroll person that prepares payroll, right, based on a LadTech, and the supervisors are responsible for submitting their people's time. Okay, so that, to my knowledge, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, there is no process in place where an individual signs off on their own pay.
So you're saying that your people don't actually submit their own time?
That's correct.
The supervisor submits their time?
That's correct. Yeah, Mike's saying that's the same for them too. We don't have a system, Stephen, that's set up. I mean, we don't have like a robust payroll system, I guess is the best way to say it, where I've come from before, there was a process in place where there was a time clock feature. There was a way for people to go in and sign off on their own payroll. Then it went to a supervisor and it got kicked up the chain. And to Shannon's point, I asked this question at the last commissioner meeting because everybody's been told that there was a process in place for a second sign off on payroll. That still has not happened. But to go down to that level, we would need a completely different software package than we have currently. Because
so the clock system and that you're using today doesn't allow the employee to go in and validate their clock rings.
No, and I don't think there's any system in the county that has that currently. There's a person in each department, regardless of who it is. If it's a one-person department, it doesn't matter. That prepares their own their own payroll. My supervisors do that. It goes to the payroll person. She validates it, and then submits it. Now we've done what Shannon has requested. We print them off now. I sign them manually. But there's no system currently in place where an individual signs off on their payroll. That's never existed, and it was never part of this current process.
Well, if we want proper segregation of duties and protections, we have to have it. So whatever system you're using, we need to contact them and see if it's possible.
I'm sure
Again,
it is. We don't have the time clock. We don't have the time clock feature turned on right now because it's not a necessity for what we're doing. My understanding is they have one, and there are plenty of softwares out there that manage specifically payroll and time. And I know everybody has frustrations with VIP. I am one of them. It doesn't do what we need it to do from a variety of standpoints. You guys got an email from me. It doesn't keep track of people's PTO. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we're missing out on feature-wise that this software doesn't do. And I can tell you right now, it's not set up to go back to the individual level. It's just not.
I think we're going in a different direction here. What we're trying to accomplish is that two people set eyes on payroll.
Correct.
That's what we're trying to do. I understand your point to where the individual needs to sign off on it. I don't disagree with that. I just don't think what we have right now can do that. But at minimum, we can have two people authorize it at this point until we come up with something else. That's the goal.
Yes, because we were looking at time clock system.
Yeah.
In the future as well. So this was just to make things a little bit more secure when it comes to submitting and approving an office payroll, which includes all employees.
Yeah. I guess I'll make a motion to approve this resolution 2026-101, the additions that, or the some of the corrections that council made. Knowing, again, that the payroll system needs looked at.
I'll second.
Roll call, please. Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
Commissioner Brand.
No.
Commissioner Riggin.
Yes. resolution 2026-05.
This is the resolution that is approving the interlocal agreement that you approved at the beginning of the meeting. So it is the interlocal with the town of Eaton for Cranell Drive, Wilman Road, and Romey Street, with the attached exhibits showing those small sections that are going to be paved where Eaton will pay for the materials and the county will provide the labor.
And just to be clear, the county's going to pay for the material, Eaton's going to reimburse, so we need to make sure we don't miss that
Correct.
on the backside of our process. Make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-05.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes. Thank you. Under old business, I think that's 613. Can that be removed?
We voted to remove the taxes in the last meeting.
Yeah. That should be come off.
That one can come off.
Contractors.
I believe
Permits.
engineering and legal are still working on that.
Okay. And the, any more townships?
We still don't have Niles and Perry Township annual
Niles and
reports.
Could, Danielle, could you send those folks a letter? Appreciate that. And also remind them about their standards and guidelines.
You know, Center has submitted, no one else has.
Yes, they.
And we're not
theirs.
asking for their finances, we're asking for their guidelines. That should be updated with the new state tables.
Yes. That ordinance 2013
That's the junk vehicle ordinance. We had a meeting on that, and I believe legal and a few others are still working on
Still
it.
out.
but they're-
Yeah. Work in progress.
Okay,
Yep.
good. And then the Edit Corporation Board.
Yeah, that's still something we need to decide. Are we gonna, if we're gonna continue that, we need to at least have an annual meeting.
Yeah,
We need to appoint officers, and we need to follow the ordinance and the bylaws. My personal opinion is we don't need that board anymore, and we should dissolve it. But
Yeah.
that's an open issue.
that would be easy to do then, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Okay, and then we'll come to department heads and elected officials. Appreciate the weight and measure monthly report. Payment of claims of $4,379,574.35.
Madam President, may I make a correction? There
Sure.
were some late submissions. One particular claim of $650 was submitted this morning. That would bring the total payment of claims to $4,380,224.35. And this is that. That's that additional $650.
Yes, thank you.
And then the credit cards were also in there. The scorecard isn't getting any better. Actually, I believe it got worse for those that submitted. I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
No.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes.
Tony, I'd like to make a request. And this will need to be put on the agenda if it's appropriate. I would like the credit card claims separated from the original claims.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
And I would like the departments that are not in compliance, according to the register, should be easy to figure out, separated from that.
With ones that are.
Yeah.
And I will say the bills came very late this month.
Okay.
So that may be a reason that you don't have a lot of them today, to be real honest with you, because I mean, it was like a 1-day turnaround.
Yeah.
So maybe 2 at the most. So
Okay.
that could be the reason why you don't have them here today.
That's not an excuse. I mean, people use the credit card and they know how much they spent. They printed something off Amazon or wherever they bought something from, and they should have that justification for the money that they spent. We shouldn't have to wait on the bill to come in to get the justification for it. And we shouldn't have any credit cards anyway.
Do you understand my?
I do.
Ask- okay.
I do.
Okay.
I was just thinking on what he was saying, and I'm duly noted. I mean, I can do that as far as, taking care of them in our office. But I think, like everyone else does, you think you just wait until you get your bill,
No.
you get your claim form done, what I mean? You do the whole process and then you send it. So if it's a matter of getting it sent to you prior to, without actually having the actual bill, I mean, it's doable.
I mean,
And working down there years ago, I really would like for each person that's sending in their claim that we do get the original, but that they or their staff actually tape it to a piece of paper, like you can put 3 across, but those little things you get, when you go to the dollar store to buy something, just put that on a piece of paper, scotch tape it, because we need the original, but just put it on the paper. I mean, it was ridiculous coming in yesterday and looking at them, and I took care of some myself, but that would help the auditor's office.
Do you mean the original receipt?
The original, we always get the original.
Okay. I think
And it would help your staff not have to go through all those little pieces of paper.
I guess I was under the impression that most people make a photocopy
They-
of the original
No,
receipt.
no, we always are supposed to get the original to put on.
For scanning purposes, that's,
Well, if you tape it down, just tape it down,
yeah.
because then they wouldn't have to make copies. They just tape it down. There you have them. Thank you. Okay. You have a motion?
we voted on
Yeah,
the
we
payment
have.
of claims,
Okay.
so now we have ARP.
Now we're ready for payroll.
Actually, Madam President, another late claim came up this morning, American Rescue Plan funds, $31,392. That was made up of $2,450 for Baker Tilly. Dossett was on there twice, $12,580 once and $15,012 another time, and then Unique Computer Services of $1,350
So
for a
what's that?
total $31,392.
Can you repeat that again, please?
31.
Slower.
$31,392.
$92. Thank you.
Make a motion to approve ARP in that amount.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Payroll of June 3rd, $1,092,969.36.
Motion to pay payroll.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes, thank you. Now, time for the public. And we have Mr. Yenser. You'll pass, okay. And the commissioner's comments, please.
Good.
We have our next town hall meeting next Thursday. It's at Cowan Lions Club on June 11th, starting at 6 o'clock. Mail and postage, I think we're improving our services there. We've got the cube set up. I think we have a USPS account, which is a much better rate than what you can get if you just go to the post office. And the mailroom is also working on setting up a countywide FedEx account and UPS account, so we can run things through a county account, and then things can run through the claims process instead of running through a credit card. We do not, that I'm aware of, do we have a travel policy? Does the county have a travel policy? That
Years
says,
ago, they had one, but
like, these are the per diems for meals, these are the receipts that are required, you're not allowed to put alcohol. those types of things.
Yeah, there is.
There is?
Something that
Yeah,
covers
probably.
that, and then many of the budgets have the travel in their budget, like in separate lines. So we have a line for transportation, whether that's bus, train, or airplane, doesn't matter, it's transportation. There's that would also cover mileage,
And
just
that's
for your
something we
driving.
haven't raised for a long time.
Yeah, there's conference and training line, of course, and then there's also lodging line that's separated out as well. And many of the budgets have that in there.
I know there's a little bit of language in the handbooks, but you say we actually have a travel policy.
I don't know that it's I don't know that it's a travel policy, but I know I've read something
I don't believe there
pertaining
is. I think
to
there's a-
you
there's a-
cannot have, put alcohol on the county's dollar.
There's a blurb in the handbook, isn't there?
Yeah.
But that's it.
Would you guys be interested in a travel policy?
What are your thoughts? I mean,
I could put together a proposal and send it to you.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let's take a look.
Hoyt Avenue, Dean, will you give a quick update on the Hoyt Avenue repaving where Centerpoint came in and cut up, 20 some cuts?
Yes, so we have went through with Centerpoint and addressed which spots need repaired and which need fixed. Everything's been marked out. Currently, we are scheduled for, I believe it's the week of the 15th is when the work would actually start, to actually have the paving redone. So there'll be some inconveniences there as far as the traffic on Hoyt Avenue goes, but I believe it's 4 days of paving, and that will be restored back to a better condition.
So it's they're going to mill some, and what I would consider strip pave. They're going to put a strip down.
Yes, correct. Yeah, they're in most areas it's either half the width of the road or the full width of the road, but they'll remove 1.5 inches and then repave, resurface that 1.5 inches with new asphalt. So.
Thank you.
That's a good outcome.
Like to introduce Alexis Steele as the new EMS office manager.
Yes.
Alexa,
Welcome.
congratulations.
Good luck.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks.
Madam President, last thing I want to bring up is, I believe it was in our April 20th this year commissioner meeting. We heard a proposal from Security Automation System about the jail door
yes.
access, video, audio, those types of things. And in that meeting, we had some discussion, and I committed to getting involved and looking into the concerns from the jail and from maintenance and to a certain extent IT. And during that meeting on April 20th, Security Automation Systems got up and presented, and then we then approved a pretty large project to be done out there to completely redo the building access and control in the jail. Within that same week, the commissioner sent an email to Security Automation System and said, hey, before any money's spent, before any work begins, we want to have a pre-construction meeting. Worst thing we want to do is repeat anything that was potentially not done proper the first time. But in the meantime, we met with BW. They had the build, operate, transfer for the Justice Center, Security Automation, Accurate Controls, who was the current provider, as well as the designer was DCCM, Pauley Jail out of Noblesville, and a number of others. And we are on a pretty good path, I believe, right now to correcting the issues that exist out there. Some of that is training and the ability for us to pass down our training from the folks that got the training originally to the new personnel, like maintenance, for example. I think when that was done, it was 2 building superintendents ago. So, the training wasn't passed down properly. So Accurate is in today and tomorrow and potentially Wednesday, correcting some issues on site at the Justice Center with our IT group, with our maintenance group, and with our jail personnel. Hopefully by the end of their visit, things will be cleared up. So I wanted to read a correction letter that was sent to us from Security Automation Systems. So remember, Security Automation Systems are the ones that made the presentation on April 20th. Accurate Controls is the current provider, and they're the ones that are on site today trying to correct. This letter came from Security Automation System, and it came individually to each of the 3 commissioners. This is the letter to me. I'm just going to read the letter as it was written to me, but I believe they're all identical. Dear Commissioner Brand, I am the president of Security Automation Systems Incorporated. Tricia Werner, one of our employees, participated in the April 20th, 2026 Commissioners meeting and discussed some perceived issues at the Delaware County Justice Center. Since Ms. Werner's discussion at that meeting, Accurate Controls Incorporated has informed me that Ms. Werner's comments regarding ACI were inaccurate. Specifically, Accurate Controls Incorporated has informed me of the following facts. ACI complied with all bid requirements including the card access. ACI provided a video storage system fully compliant with the 30-day storage requirement set forth in the project bid specifications, and the storage capacity was expanded later at the request of Delaware County. Accurate Controls provided comprehensive training to 52 county employees on January 22nd, 2021, and Accurate Controls provided all required service, support, and documentation, including operations and maintenance manuals, training documentation, source codes, and programming information, including passwords, as-built drawings, camera sign-off documentation, and warranties, were all delivered to Delaware County. Security Automation System has no basis to dispute the accuracy of Accurate Controls statements. Security Automation System therefore formally and respectfully retract any contradictory statements made by Ms. Werner. I further apologize for any inconvenience that this has caused. Sincerely, Ryan Tomlinson, President of Security Automation Systems.
So Accurate Controls come in the meeting, and I think they're going to be helpful. I'm hopeful, but I think we're on the way to get back on track again, I believe.
Yeah,
and they're out there the next 2 or 3 days for just to help us.
Right.
So we appreciate that.
We do appreciate it, and provided that it ends up like we anticipate it will in a future meeting, we will be canceling the contract with Security Automation System.
Correct.
Well said. Mr. Henry, you have.
I don't have anything. No.
I'd like to thank you for staying. And this Saturday, if you have family out at the Ball State, they're having the We Fly Fest. Going to be games, activities, live music, food trucks. And I believe it's from 4 to 7 Saturday at the Brown Family Amphitheater, Ball State University. So something free to do, fun. The food's not going to be free. Yeah, but it'll be there for you.
Nothing's free.
Nothing's free.
We will start the Finance Committee meeting at 11:30 a.m.
And so we have a motion for recess.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
Thank you.